Hey Netflix.
Who is the next F1 driver on the rise? F1 is a sport in which all 20 drivers try to have a breakout season or continue the domination that they've already established. Also, it's a sport in which you don't have to be P1 continuously to show your worth. It would help you a lot without a doubt, but certain young players have been able to dominate much slower and less dominant F1 cars, and it brought them a seat in a team with a bigger reputation. However, other drivers have failed to deliver in the bigger market teams that gave them chances, so they were relegated to other teams. With that being said, we'll try to capture all of the F1 drivers in the current grid that have the potential to be the future of the sport. Stick with us until the end of this video as we'll explore the potential of F1 drivers. Max Verstappen. We know what you're thinking. He is already a star. But for a generational talent like Max Verstappen, winning one championship and breaking records like youngest to race or youngest to score points or even youngest to win a race is just a formality. Max has the potential to destroy the records set by much greater names than him, such as Schumacher, Hamilton, Senna, Alonso, etc. This is why we've put him in the category of rising drivers, although it's sure that he is the present and the future of F1. Verstappen has some negative traits that he needs to work on, such as his anger and his tantrum-throwing behavior. Apart from that, he is an aggressive driver and always loves to push things to the limit. The fact that he was the sole challenger to Lewis Hamilton last year and was managed to beat him for the title just goes to show how much he matured and what kind of experience he was able to collect. That will only help him in his process of rising and dominating the league, but he isn't the only one that can drive exceptionally well on the grid. Charles Leclerc. The Monegasque is yet to win a championship, and it seems like this year will be the perfect chance for him to shine. The Ferrari driver started the season exceptionally well, having 2 wins out of the first 3 races and 1 P2 finish in Jeddah. But after that, things have started to crumble for Ferrari, and their engine seems like it cannot endure much pressure. However, Leclerc is still a proven driver that could deliver when it's asked of him, something that was shown in the continuous battle between him and Max at Bahrain GP. He never backs down from pressure, and the only sky's the limit for the Ferrari driver. He has had the opportunity to learn from Sebastian Vettel, a driver that was driving in Ferrari for 6 years. Leclerc joined Ferrari in 2019, replacing Raikkonen, and it was more than clear that he would be the future of F1. But these are all empty words if Leclerc doesn't manage to win the championship at some point, because that's what separates talented and good drivers from great athletes. George Russell. Make no mistake, the Brit can drive. Not everybody thought that his debut season with Mercedes will be this strong and dominant. He has shown immense potential in Williams, but has never been able to compete for points on a continuous matter. His brightest point was the P2 from the qualifying session in Spa, Belgium. After the heavy rain, the race couldn't take place, and drivers were given the positions from their qualifying session. Russell has been nothing short of spectacular in the struggling W13 car and is able to lead Hamilton by 37 points prior to the Montreal GP. The fact that he has finished just once behind Hamilton, and that's in the season debut when Hamilton finished P3 and George P4, goes to show that the young Brit is currently the #1 choice in the team. Moreover, he is the only driver on the grid that has finished in the top 5 position in every race so far, a feature that even Leclerc nor Verstappen was able to achieve. So, if Mercedes are able to fix their car on time, Russell will be a direct threat to the first place in the championship, as currently he isn't that far away from the leading 3. Lando Norris. Another Brit that has an exceptional talent for driving can be found in Norris. Last year, during the first half of the season, McLaren had a very strong car, and Norris was one of the most frequent drivers on the podium. He was very close to a win in Sochi, Russia, before the rain happened, and he didn't change his tyres on time. Everybody knows what he possesses, and the fact that he scores decent points with a car that Ricciardo is struggling with very much goes to show that Norris is one of the drivers that possess the championship mentality in himself, and only needs a decent car to accomplish this. However, there are some traits about Norris that were seen during the 2022 season that just doesn't comply with a championship-caliber driver. He is cocky, gets angry easily, and doesn't agree with everything that goes against him. These are some manners that the youngster will have to work on if he wants to be in a car that will bring the championship to him one day. Pierre Gasly. Gasly has never been able to perform in a Red Bull car, as he was given the opportunity once and failed to achieve what everybody expected of him. However, his tenure in AlphaTauri has been quite amazing, and this is where he has been able to outshine most of the other drivers that are on his level. Last year, Gasly has been finishing in the 5th to 6th place continuously, and people were wondering what he could do with a car that's more reliable and powerful than the Alpha. Most fans believe that he wasn't able to perform in Red Bull due to the pressure of Dr. Helmut Marko and Max Verstappen, who we all know is the #1 choice on the team. However, certain talks about Gasly leaving the sister company of Red Bull and joining teams like McLaren or Alpine have transpired recently. And this would be the right thing for Gasly because he has shown potential and he needs a car that would comply with his driving style. With that being said, we have nothing more to add except that Gasly is a driver who not only possesses talent, but also a hard-working spirit and endurance. This was shown in 2020 when he was able to win the Monza GP after enduring the pressure of Sainz's McLaren, which then was a much more powerful car than the AlphaTauri. Esteban Ocon. The Frenchman was a Mercedes protege before leaving for Renault in 2019. This is when he became a full Renault driver, as the director of Renault back then, Cyril Abiteboul, has said. Ocon gained his maiden win in 2021 Hungaroring in Hungary, a track that was full of excitement. Apart from that, he has been able to deliver on a constant matter with both Racing Point and Alpine. He's probably one of the most talented drivers on the grid. Ocon can judge situations nicely, but there have been situations in which his actions have cost other players valuable points. Such is the situation in Brazil, Interlagos in 2018, when he tried to overlap himself by passing Verstappen, but wasn't quite able to do it in a clean manner, resulting in Verstappen spinning off and losing his place to Hamilton. Apart from that, Ocon drives nicely and, if provided with a decent car, can be in the constant mix of points. Alex Albon. The Thai native has had a chance to prove himself in Red Bull, but most of the duels that he had with Hamilton left him out of the track or DNFing on multiple occasions. This could have hurt his confidence as a driver and was probably the reason why Red Bull didn't continue his deal in 2021. After sitting a whole season, Albon is currently racing in Williams and has been able to score points in 2 races this season. Apart from him, Latifi is very much slower and non-reliable, so Albon doesn't really have a concurrency in his own team. Albon is now in the redemption season in Williams, proving that he can drive and he can make extraordinary passes if he is provided with the right equipment. With that being said, if we have an opportunity to watch Albon in a decent car in the near future, rest assured that he'll pull himself high on the drivers list. Sergio Perez. Before you start throwing rocks at us, we'd like to say that we only put Checo here because he has a legitimate shot at the 2022 title. He has continued his deal with Red Bull for 2 more years, and if he fails to win the championship now, he'll have 2 more years to do so. And even if he doesn't win it now and he manages to finish P2, that would be an amazing result for a guy that's been in F1 for so long. Checo is currently 32 years old, so labeling him as a driver on the rise is a silly thing for us to do. However, he has been reincarnated into this championship caliber driver who parries with the world champion Max on several occasions. This is why we believe that Checo does have a legitimate shot at the title, and if he manages to win it somehow, it would be an amazing story in his resume. We hope that you enjoyed our list of drivers that have the potential to rise in the following years. We also hope that you understood our concept of rising, as we put champions that have already risen and accomplished a championship but do have lots of challenges in front of them. F1 is a dangerous sport, and everybody fights for what he deserves, and at speeds of over 300 kilometers per hour, this could be a dangerous fight. Let us know what you think of the rising F1 drivers in the comments, as we love to have your opinion on board.